15 seconds.
Perfect.
So let the people in.
Let's roll.
Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello.
How's
Everybody
it
excited for
going?
January Digital Detox? We're excited to be here. Makes Bill chuckle. The words digital detox make him chuckle.
It does.
People do all kinds of things in January, right? They go alcohol free. They decide they're going to start a new diet. January's always been a really good month for me to assess my security platform and take a look.
Just a note to everybody, we are recording this on our NWSOFA live YouTube video. If you do not want your photo shown in the video, please turn your video off. Although we strongly suggest you keep your video on because we love to see your faces as we go through today. All right, back to you, Stephanie.
Oh no, now we're to Rebecca because we have the slide and the intro and the promo of what we're going to do. So well done. Everybody's in, we're situated, we're settled in for a nice tech talk.
All right, folks. So last week, for those of you who joined us, we were rushed a little bit because we only had an hour. Today we have the normal amount of time and wanted to make sure that we got everybody's questions answered that maybe we didn't have time to address last time. So this will be a bit of a repetition of last week's content. And if folks are not here for that or have to go to other things, no hard feelings. But for folks that had questions from last week that did not get answered or did not get answered fully, please let us use this as an opportunity to make sure that those questions get answered. So in today's session, we are continuing the digital detox theme that Stephanie mentioned. It focuses on making sure that our security practices are strong as we head into the new year. And our specific topics are focusing on VPNs, Proton, which is a service, and we'll talk about that. Cookies, what are those? We've been hearing about those like for decades at this point, but it's a concept and we're not sure if they're good, they're bad. So we'll talk about that. And then lastly, we'll finish up with how to share clean links, because that is something our team likes to do, is share links to things. And we want to make sure that we're doing that in a way that's not passing along tracking information. So that is the plan for today. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. And if you guys have questions, feel free to put up your hand, put it in the chat. We'll try to keep an eye on things. We are a small group today, so we can probably keep it pretty informal.
Thanks, Rebecca. Great intro.
Awesome. And Stephanie and I are probably just going to tag team this back and forth. It's going to be pretty informal. So I am kind of I've got like a surface level knowledge of this stuff, and Stephanie has a very deep knowledge of this stuff. So I feel like we're covered from both ends, and we should be able to answer a lot of questions. Constance.
Hi. Well, mine is kind of a mundane question, but it's important to me because it keeps coming up. So last night I wanted and did eventually get into Bruce's discussion session, but since he's not on the, he used a different link to get into his sessions other than, our typical one. Um, I actually clicked on the link that someone sent me in Signal, but it didn't immediately take me to the meeting. Um, Even on my iPhone, it took me into having to go through a series of screens to, to join it through Google, for example, or Facebook. And then what Google didn't work, so I went to Facebook, and then I couldn't get out of Facebook itself. I to get to the meeting. And it took me several uh, machinations to eventually get into the meeting. And I eventually changed from my phone to a laptop, and then I had to go through Zoom protocols for them to accept me, and I didn't think that would work, and eventually it just kind of did. So I don't know what the problem is, but it's very, annoying and frustrating. And sometimes, well, I just want to know kind of the big
Okay,
picture of
Constance,
the
I think I
technology.
get
We got it.
I
You
think I
got it.
get
All right,
it.
good. All right.
So we don't have that on the agenda today, but if there's time at the end, let us see if we can help do some some
Talk about how Zoom links are constructed generally, how to look at one, because it's very much like a link, because it would be, I think, fit at the end, Rebecca, and we can deconstruct a Zoom URL so you know what to put in where. How about that?
yeah.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
not, we'll carry it over because that's what we do.
Alrighty. Um, so to jump into today's planned content, we're going to start off the conversation with an explanation of VPNs. So if any of you are very tech savvy people, A, what are you doing here and not being one of the leads? Um,
Amen.
um, but if you have a more sophisticated understanding of this stuff and would like to share, um, please feel free to chime in. Um, so one thing that you need to know before we talk about VPNs is the concept of an IP address. So IP, I believe, stands for Internet Protocol.
Internet protocol.
Okay, yes. But basically, it's like an identifying number that's attached to your device, and it tells your device, or it's the way your device connects to the internet. Um, so the number itself can contain information about your location, like your city or region. So, for example, when I go look up my IP address, it traces back to Wheaton, Illinois, because that's where I live. It doesn't come back to my individual house number, but it does show that I, use AT&T. So those are the things that people can find out about me by looking at my IP address.
However, if you just go one step deeper, that does go all the way to your house at the address level, very much like your phone number. Because in the great computer system in the sky, everything has to match in order to resolve. I couldn't write to Rebecca if I didn't know her IP address. I couldn't call her if I didn't know her phone number. In this case, your IP address does map to your house and ultimately to a device. And I'm not going to say any more because that's a lot.
Right. So the concept of the IP address is something that can identify you and information about you. What VPN can help with is it can hide your IP address um, from
Everyone.
certain,
Anyone.
well, it's visible to your VPN provider.
Good answer.
So normally your internet service provider can see your IP address and your internet traffic. If you if you get a VPN, it sort of puts a layer between you and your service provider. So now the VPN can see what you're up to, but your ISP, your internet service provider can't.
So VPN is a virtual private network. So what you are doing is putting another network, another infrastructure. If you hide your phone number when you make a phone call, you are essentially VPNing your phone as a thought process. So you know how you can do block my number on call out or whatever, you get caller ID block. A VPN is like that, but it allows you to still keep executing traffic, making requests to the internet or those sorts of things, using your apps on your phone or your laptop.
Right.
Sorry, Rebecca. I'm all over the place. I'll shut up for a while. Let's get off the screen.
So VPN can encrypt your internet traffic, meaning that fewer folks are able to see the websites that you are trying to access. And it's also good for if you are on a public Wi-Fi, like if you go to your local Kroger or you're at, you're on an airplane and you use their Wi-Fi network. Those are not as secure as your networks at home. And it's easier for folks to get around certain security protocols and access your information when you're on those public Wi-Fi networks. So using a VPN is not a bad idea if you are on a public Wi-Fi. There are some limitations to what VPN can help you with, and there are some kind of side effects as well. So one side effect is that VPN can slow down your internet speed because it has to do an extra step. It's got to go through an encryption process, and that takes time that usually isn't noticeable, but can be. It depends on your VPN. And then the limitations I'll go through here. VPN does not necessarily make you anonymous. If you're using apps or you're logged in to certain accounts, those are still mechanisms for tracking your information. So it's not going to protect you against, things like social media tracking, cookies, which we'll talk about later, link trackers, or malware. So VPN is not like wearing a suit of armor or something. You're still vulnerable to certain things. In terms of some recommendations, I think with VPNs, like a lot of things, it get what you pay for. So if you aren't paying for it, then you're probably the product. So I would recommend using well-reviewed services. Like, here are some examples: NordVPN, Surfshark, or Proton. And we're going to talk about what Proton is next. But
I see one question before we go on, so just don't go all the way to Proton. Let me answer one question.
Sure, I was gonna pause here.
Well, of course you were, and I interrupted you because you're smooth and I'm spiky. There was a comment about if you leave your house, your VPN doesn't follow you. And there's a lot of ways that I could answer that question, but I want to know the intent, if Deborah can help me clarify. Because your VPN is on your device. So whatever you are physically using at that moment has to have a VPN in order to keep functioning. So if your laptop uses a VPN and, for example, your phone doesn't, then you don't have protection in or out of your house because it's about where the software resides. And I'm going to leave it at that unless there's follow-up.
You got it. Thank you. So it sounds like that helped. Any other questions about VPNs that we can answer before we move on? And folks can speak up, raise your hand, whatever, however you'd like to raise your question.
Well, I think we drained the swamp on that one. That's good.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay. So we mentioned Proton. Proton is a Swiss company, and they were established in 2014. And their mission is to provide certain online services. They're pretty similar to Google in a lot of the services that they offer, things like mail or online file storage or a calendar, a password manager. So very similar to what Google offers, but Proton is very security, privacy minded. Um, the good thing about Proton is, like Google in a lot of ways, Proton doesn't cost money. Some of these services do, I believe. Um, but that's the main difference, is that the services themselves are similar, but Proton is very focused on privacy.
I think we've all been looking to try and move our digital assets outside of US control for a while. So in an attempt to bring ethically sourced, reasonable alternatives, Proton is being set forward as one of those choices. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Every time I
Um,
talk about tech, the first question is who owns it? Where is it? What does it consume in resources? So I think we're starting to lead with some of those things now just to make sure everybody's comfortable with what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Um, and I do believe that Proton is owned by a nonprofit foundation based in Switzerland. So it's not like subject to the corporate powers that be. It is as fairly ethically um, owned as you can be in this type of environment. Um, so I mentioned that the services they offer are similar to Google. Um, they have Proton Mail, Proton Drive, Proton Calendar, and Proton Pass, which is like a password manager. And they also offer that VPN service as well. Couple more thoughts on Proton. Um, like I said, it's security minded, and their their main one of their main features that offers that security or privacy is end-to-end encryption. So putting these things into code that only the sender and recipient um,
Read.
can view or
Yeah.
read. The encryption only works if both the sender and the recipient are using Proton. Otherwise, if you're the sender and you are sending it encrypted, so it can't, be read by a third party, but you're sending it to a Gmail account or a Yahoo account or something, it gets unencrypted, translated to, plain English or whatever. Um, so in that case, it is easier to spy on you, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I think that the key there is during transit, because what we're all sitting around talking about in some abstract way is what happens if somebody is trying to intercept our data in a real-time manner while we're trying to say something we don't want anyone to know? So I always start with, what are you trying to protect against? So using encryption in transit, so between locations, so between pieces of mail, anytime we move things from place to place, when we encrypt it, it can't be readily taken off of our systems or require us to have an RFID bag in order to go into public when we are encrypting certain things in certain ways. Again, too much detail.
Okay, so in terms of what we as experts, and I use that term extremely loosely.
Experienced folk.
Yeah, yeah, intermediate level folks, just not beginners. Um, we recommend that if you are concerned about um, security for certain communications or certain files, that you can use Proton Mail or Proton Drive for those. But if you're mainly talking about like the newsletter that you get from, I don't know, your local Indivisible, or the coupon file that, Kroger sends out every week, like um, that's not super sensitive, and you can probably let that one go on your normal Yahoo account or Google account or whatever.
Businesses used to use a version of encrypted mail for certain sensitive communications, and it used to be a heck of a lot harder. But this is a very old idea that is now being made much more prevalent for those of us who are communicating in sensitive ways. Constance asked about what an RFID bag was, or whatever the heck I said. So it's a Faraday bag, Constance. The discussion about whether what and kind and type, you can buy them on Amazon. I kind of have a lot of them. I got I got my toll booth transponder in one. So silverish sort of things that prevent your device from sending or receiving outside of the bag. So there was a discussion I was in about putting your phone in a Faraday bag when you go to a protest, except when you want to use it. And then there was some discussion last week about airplane mode. So if you want to give me a little more specific after we finish this segment, I'm happy to answer your specific question, but that was broadly what I was talking about.
Robin, you've got your hand up. Do you have a question?
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to understand this Proton, this security benefits and risk. Okay, so question is, when we have sensitive information and we want to share with the other party, so that party has to have that technology, Proton. So if they don't have it, then how do you have to tell them, hey, use this Proton mail or whatever? I'm gonna send you a sensitive info. I'm just a question. I mean, to ask
Yeah,
you.
it's a fair question, and yes, that's exactly what I was referring to. If you guys are talking about something sensitive that you want to stay encrypted between you and the other person, then you both need to have, in this case, Proton. Um, if you send it and they don't have Proton in this case, they'll still get it. It just won't be encrypted all the way until it gets to them. It will have to be unencrypted in order for them to receive it.
How do we set up this Proton Gmail?
If you go to proton.me, M-E, I think, there's That's the website that you use to sign up for it, and it'll take you step by step. I believe
Proton.
Cecilia has a Proton account, and
Yeah, I seen her. Yeah. So it's a proton dot me.
me, like me,
Okay.
like me.
Okay, I'll look into it. My God, there's only so much time to
Yeah.
do this, but it's good to know this. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Robin. So for everybody's, own risk analysis, you kind of have to ask yourself, what's your risk tolerance? Is it worth setting up another email account? It may be, if you guys are handling sensitive communications, that may be worth it to you to make sure that it's staying extremely secure and private. For me, I don't have a Proton account. Nothing I'm doing is all that secret. In fact, I do try to spread the word about a lot of what I'm trying to do. I know that we have concerns about, Google or Yahoo or whatever trying to take our data, and that is a concern. Um, so again, up to each individual's risk analysis.
I have a question about it's similar to Proton is similar to Signal then in terms of encryption. Is that correct?
They both use encryption.
Yeah.
Signal is like text messaging, like on your
Okay.
phone.
Yeah.
Whereas Proton offers all of those other services that we talked about.
Okay.
So the key difference, Merritt, just architecturally, so you understand, Signal maintains an entirely closed system that requires everyone who is communicating to participate. Proton Mail will allow you to send either encrypted or decrypted messages to email users, and they will remain encrypted if they go to another Proton account.
Okay.
They will decrypt if they go out. Signal does not allow you to leave the ecosystem except through sneaker net, like screen prints, screen grabs, take it somewhere else. But you are not extending Signal into that environment when you do that, except for
Okay.
the metadata in pictures.
Okay.
And that's everything I got on that. I am sorry.
That's okay.
No,
Thank you.
I think that's a good ad. Like you can't like in Coffee and Conversation, we have Kara, and she's not on Signal yet. Trying to, but she's not there yet. So I can't use Signal to text her. Once she signs up and opts in, then we can use Signal to communicate. In the meantime, I just have to text her, email her, whatever. Okay,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
sure. Okay. If we're ready, I think we can move on to cookies.
I think I need a cookie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Why don't we get cookies? I feel like Bill should send us some
Yes.
cookies
How
or
do we
something.
pass out virtual cookies during the call? All right. Not the cookies we want to eat. How was it? The crumbs we leave behind is how we're referring to our cookies.
Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of the way that you can think about cookies online. They are small files that websites um, store in your browser to remember information. And so examples of that information would be like, okay, this is your username or your password that you use to log in, or your preferences, like I like to view my websites in English as the default language. Or if you're on a shopping website, what's in your cart? A lot of these things, or some of these things that I've mentioned, are the way that we want our internet to work, our websites to work. So, as it says here, like cookies aren't inherently bad, And in fact, we need a lot of these cookies in order to make the internet experience how we it needs to work. But there's two kinds of cookies.
Nefarious cookies.
So the first party cookies, that's the kind that we've been talking about, the kind that helps the internet work the way we want it to, that helps you not see, your websites in uh,
Turkmenistan.
Chinese or something, when you're clearly you want it to be in English. Or, you've got these two shirts in your shopping cart and you want them to stay in your shopping cart. Those are the first party cookies. They come, it's information that deals with the website that you're currently on. So you don't have to worry about those for the most part. It's the third party cookies. So meaning third party meaning not you didn't come up with this cookie, and it's not the website that you're interacting with. It's this third party that's like trying to track information about you. And these cookies help track your activity across websites or across the internet. And it can they can do that without your awareness or your saying, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds great. Um, and if you're asking, like, okay, well, why would anybody care what I'm doing across the internet? Well, advertisers, businesses, the more things they know about you, the more they can figure out ways to make money off of you, whether it's advertising to you or recommending things to sell to you. Businesses will pay for that information, advertisers, data brokers. Um, so those third-party cookies are valuable, and that's why they are so prevalent. Stephanie,
Whenever
anything
you,
to add? Yeah.
yeah, whenever you click through an ad, a good example of a third-party cookie. So you see something that looks good. Boy, I'd like to click on that. This is where most third-party cookies originated because cookies were necessary to make the internet work for a ton of reasons in the web. We can't get rid of them because we don't know how to manage navigating away from them. Nefarious folks like advertisers figured out that they could add something to what was necessary. And from that, we got tracking URLs and we got cookies that maintain on our PC that we don't want, which is going to take us right to the next step. So understanding that by avoiding clicking through an ad, you will save yourself a lot of treachery when it comes to cookies.
I see a couple of questions in the chat. Can cookies be hidden, for example, in Amazon? And then Joe is asking, when we get asked whether or not we want to accept cookies, how should we respond?
Ah, go ahead, Rebecca. We can get that.
Sure. So you do see that prompt, like when you visit a website. Like I just was going to a place where you can buy shirts. It wasn't Amazon, I'll have you know.
Okay.
And I had to log in, and it was asking, how do you want to handle cookies? It was like accept all, reject all, or custom.
Ah.
So you can choose. So choosing each of those has different repercussions. I usually say reject all, or I go the custom route, because what I would say is don't accept all, because those are going to contain those third party cookies that you probably want to block. Um, I will,
Sometimes the suggestion is only necessary cookies.
mhm.
And that gets you what we're talking about in terms of preferences, but not in terms of, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. That gets you preferences and eliminates the tracking and the additional stuff that you pick up on the web. So if you have that choice for functional cookies, that's a safe pick as well.
Yeah. And I'll just mention that if you use Google Chrome, um, I and browsers like that, they some of those do automatically block those third-party cookies as a matter of course. Um, a good practice though is every so often you can go and clear your cookies, and we'll talk about the steps to do that. Um, it's up to you how frequently you would like to do that. And I'll just say, like, if you don't, the reason you probably you wouldn't want to do it every day is because if you're clearing your cookies, it's going to log you out of everything that you're logged into. So that may be inconvenient, but that's the trade-off sometimes, inconvenient versus secure.
You know, the other
Um,
time that sometimes people clear their cookies, Rebecca, is when they're having a problem with a website, like something's not behaving correctly. Like you're trying to log in, but it won't work. Any sort of peculiar behavior on the internet, the first thing that would happen if you were able to talk to tech support would be they would ask you if you had cleared your cookies and closed your browser and restarted it because of the way the cookie can affect the behavior on some websites. So I just wanted to throw that in here because we're all talking about tracking, but the functionality can be changed based on a corrupt or damaged cookie.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a good ad. I just don't have anything additional.
No, I
Um,
understand. It's just people hear about this, clear your cookies. What are they actually saying to you when somebody on tech support says clear your cookies? What are they telling you to do? I just wanted to
yeah,
throw it out there.
yeah. So in terms of a concrete, you know, recommendation of how frequently you do it, I don't know, maybe a month. Like, depends on how it's that trade-off between inconvenient um, and secure. A couple other um, sort of safety precautions you might choose to take. You can use private browsing if you're familiar with like incognito mode on Chrome or Safari. That can help you block some third-party cookies, but it's not perfect. Um, and then this is not completely related to cookies, but it is related in terms of tracking, um, tracking your behavior on the internet or your activity on the internet. Um, sometimes the links that we share or that we follow it contain tracking parameters in them. So that's actually going to be our next topic. So before we go on to that, I want to answer any final questions. Um, there's one in the chat from Joe. When we clear cookies, do we clear them only from our computer or throughout the internet? And Stephanie says cookies are local only, meaning you're just clearing them from your device, your laptop or phone.
They don't exist in other places. I mean, it's not that you can't clear them, it's that cookies aren't used anywhere except your local device because they are specific to how you are using your PC. So you don't clear cookies from the internet. I felt like I couldn't answer that effectively. I'm so sorry.
Maybe another way to think about it is that if you clear cookies on your phone, you're not clearing them on your computer. It's device specific. So you would have to do both.
That's a great explanation. Thank you for picking that up.
Okay, and then we've got Robin's hand and then Dr. Chris's hand.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand these cookies. They're very annoying, annoying for me when I'm trying
Exactly.
to, and I know I always reject them because I feel like they're, um, taking my privacy or whatever. So and then a lot of time they won't let me even read. It's so interfering with what I'm reading it, but I
Mm.
still won't accept it. I will just kind of figure out the way to read that particular article. So I'm always like very um reluctant. Let's this way. I feel like somebody's trying to steal my privacy. So how I mean, I'm hearing that we can clear the cookie. Where do you go and clear these cookies?
Yes. So let me see if my graphic works today. Okay. So this is how you do it in Google Chrome, and this is how it looks on my laptop. It may look different if you're doing it on your phone. Um, I guess I
Oh.
need to do a phone version of this. So if this is how not Safari, how Google Chrome looks on my laptop. There in the upper right-hand corner, there's three dots on top of each other, and about, I don't know, halfway down the big long list of items,
Mm.
there is one called Delete Browsing Data, and you'll click on that. And it will next bring up a menu that says, well, maybe I'll just,
Hey, Rebecca, we go in the settings somewhere in our
like I
phone
said,
setting?
Robin, it's going to look different on your phone.
Yeah, I
This is
am
on,
gonna go. Yeah, I'm just asking you a question. Do we go in the setting and then find is Google Chrome somewhere there? Hmm.
no, it's not going to be in settings. It's going to be in the Google Chrome app.
Google Chrome app.
So if you are on your phone,
We have to download that app?
if you don't have Google Chrome downloaded, you don't have to worry about clearing your cookies
Yeah,
on
I
Google
don't
Chrome.
have it. Okay, I'm sorry if
Do,
I
do
asked you dumb questions
That's
No,
because
it's
okay.
okay.
Do
I'm
do you
not very
use do
illiterate
you
here.
use Safari, which we're not talking about? I
Yes,
mean,
that's
you,
all I use. I mostly
okay,
Okay.
use the
excellent.
Fire.
Now we know. Good job. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So in Safari, um, you, let me see if I can do it. I just got the new iOS update where like everything is
Uh,
see-through and I can't figure out how to do anything.
I can't find anything. It's like I feel like I'm looking at an Android all of a sudden.
Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna maybe
Do
pause
I
for a
need to look
second.
at Safari while we keep talking? I'll get you Safari,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do it on
No, no
Safari.
problem. Let's keep going and I'll come back on Safari.
Okay, so like Safari is also, I mean, I do Safari, I mean, I use all the time.
Yeah, Stephanie's gonna figure out how to help you with Safari.
Okay,
We'll just
sounds great.
give her a minute.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just do a quick demo of how to do it in Google Chrome for those um, who use Google Chrome. Again, I'm on my laptop here. Um, so I'm logged into Google, or I'm in Google Chrome. Here's my window. In the upper right, those three dots, you can see it says new Chrome available. So I've got some software updates I've got to install, but you're just going to click on those three little dots that are standing on top of each other. And then you've got delete browsing data. Like I said, it's about halfway down. Um,
Ah.
and then it's going to bring up this menu and it's going to ask you what time frame you want to delete cookies from. Browsing data is another way that they're including cookies in browsing data. There's also other things in here. So what time frame? You can choose from the last 15 minutes to all time. It's kind of up to you. I would recommend, being using a broad span of time so that you can catch all of the cookies that have been saved on your computer. You can choose whether or not to delete your browsing history, images and files. The main thing here is this cookies and other site data. That's what you want to delete. So you're going to select, what period of time you want to delete. You can uncheck anything you don't want to delete, and then you'll hit this delete data button. And that is how you do that.
Hey, Rebecca, it's
Mhm.
Chris. So before we leave that too much, I still have a question about cookies because I was one I heard what I my question was, and you answered it. It was, are cookies related to a device? And you clarified that you could clear them on one device and not clear them on the other. So maybe what I'm going to be talking about isn't cookies, but you could clarify. I know that I have certain accounts, and let's say I set up an account and it kind of remembers me, and I don't know if it's because that account has a unique IP address and then it relates to cookies to that IP address, but I know that it remembers me no matter and what I agreed that I would share on both my device. Like a good example would, not that we're using Amazon, but Amazon remembers me and my preferences both on my computer laptop as well as my phone. And so what is that called, or is that not cookies as it relates to an account?
That's
So,
AWS. Sorry.
so you have, we can use a different example. Like we could say, I have my local, bookshop.org. I've got an account on them. And I want to be recommended, books on a certain topic. Um, that's going to be saved in my user settings or my profile. And that's not related to my browser or anything like that. They're
Right.
storing that information about me someplace else.
Anywhere that you log into generally is going to maintain a set of information about you, some necessary, some not. If you don't log in, the site will use cookies to track what it can. If you do log in, now that we have a more modern architecture for computing, we don't use cookies anymore to save user preferences. We actually have databases that hold them. So your login is device independent. So to your case, Chris, whatever you are logging into, the service that you are using has kept that set of preferences if they will go with you from device to device. Rebecca, clean that up for me.
No, I think it was clear.
Okay.
Chris,
Did that?
did that help?
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Great. Okay, one more hand, Demetrios.
Hello, this is Demetrius. Uh, I'm concerned about texting because I use Google Voice to text sometimes, and then so I have certain information through Google Voice, and I may not trust whoever owns Google Voice, the CEO, or if it if they have one guy, I don't know. But could you help me understand what's going on with that? Or I don't know who looks at the cookies or anything.
This is a new topic for me.
Yeah, I
I
don't,
am
yeah,
not educated on this.
me either.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So maybe just speaking generally, if we have concerns about the uh, ethicality, I don't know if that's a word, Okay.
It takes two words to make that word, ethical nature.
Yeah. I was gonna make a stupid joke and call it, you know what? That was too stupid. Just moving on.
Maybe just ethical. The ethical use.
Yeah. Um, if we have concerns about how ethical the ownership is or the management is for a given service, we can choose not to use it, find other ways to, other services to use, or decide that this thing, this platform, this technology, um, makes me more productive, and ultimately that's worth it. It's worth more than my concerns about that. So that is a personal decision that I'm going to empower each person to make for themselves. You do your own, um, I hate the phrase do your own research. So gross. But you're going to do your own risk analysis of what you are comfortable with and make your own educated decision.
Wouldn't you be able to go in Google Help and ask them if the voice, it's where you speak your text instead of type it. So
Absolutely.
I forget what you call it, but couldn't you go in Help and say, how does that work? And then maybe that would give him a clue of if they say it's already saved in your text, so I'm not sure about the voice.
That's a
Yeah,
great suggestion and a great place to start. That's where I always start is, it's like, so what can I find out about the service from
Okay.
it?
Okay.
However, when my questions are more about ownership, it may not tell me that sort of stuff. And that takes a different kind of research. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's the help service is if you're talking to a person or if you're talking to some sort of AI bot, you're probably going to get an answer that is favorable to the company and could be different than what you might get through independent research. Okie doke. So we are tracking right along here, no pun intended. Our next topic is tracking data in links. So because we have a little bit of time today, I'd actually like to refer to this other website because I think it does a really good job explaining this. Um, so I will put this in the chat if people want to, spend more time reading it later. It's from NordVPN. So we talked about them earlier in here when we were talking about VPNs. They are a service that's all about, uh,
locking it
security.
down,
Yeah,
locking it down.
security on
They
the
lock
internet.
it
So
down.
I do feel like it is a good source. Um, the the information that we're going to cover here, I think it's relevant to think about any time that you are following a link that someone else gives you or sharing a link to whoever. So just want to make folks aware of the fact that when you share a link, it can include certain tracking information. So it can reveal, okay, how did you come upon this information? Was it through a newsletter? Was it through a website? Did you watch a video that had, a link in it or something like that? Is it associated with a certain um, keyword or a term? So a lot of this stuff you can just see very easily in the link itself. And we'll do a real life example here in a second, but just in terms of the um, classic examples, um, anything that has like UTM underscore source or UTM medium or campaign or content, all of these UTMs should be setting off some flags in your head like, oh, that's tracking information. So they have this example here, which is not a real link, but you can see it's example.com, and then there's a question mark, and that question mark should also be a flag for you. Anything that's got a question mark in front of it and it's followed by UTM, something, 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 all of that stuff after the question mark is probably tracking stuff. So this example sort of helps you interpret what do these different tracking terms mean. So UTM source equals Google. So that means the source is Google. The medium is CPC, which means apparently cost per click. Campaign equals spring_sale, which spring sale. The content, it's from an ad, and it has a keyword attached to it. So the easiest way to remove the tracking information from a link is just don't include everything that's after that question mark, and the link should still work. So if we want to do like a real life example here, let me pull up here. Here's my email inbox. So like everybody chill out. Don't try and hack me or whatever. So I've got a lot of crazy stuff going on in there. So let's look at, I don't know, Washington Post. Okay. So I'm going to click this link that's talking about Trump being all crazy in Davos. And so looking at my URL, I've got, the URL that says in the national security, I don't know, the topic. You've got the date, so 2026, January 21st, and then you've got sort of the short version of the headline, and then you can see that let's see, it's got a question mark followed by UTM campaign, WP the 7. And if you saw, it's Washington Post the 7. That's the name of the little like 7 headlines or topics that you need to pay attention to. The medium is email, the source is a newsletter. So like if I just copied and pasted this link into the chat and you all followed it, you would, Washington Post, who's tracking their traffic, they're going to see that not only did I access this link from the email, they're going to see all of you also accessed this information because of this newsletter. So what you can do instead, if you wanted to share this link, is just the clean version of the link is everything before this question mark. And if you want to test it, so I've copied everything before the question mark, and I typed it in and hit enter, and it still works.
Viola.
Oh,
So I would recommend, I know it's an extra step. It's an extra step, but it's helping protect people that you are sharing links with so that not everybody can see like, oh, they found it through such and such a, this may seem like a very innocuous example, but if we're all about trying to limit the information that's out there about you, and this is a way to protect yourself and other people.
So I'm going to say 100 times more important than cookies that stay on your device are the tracking URLs that we bad coders figured out we could add in order to carry the information off your device to wherever I want it to go. So take the URL and then add these cookies to the end, tracking cookies. And what they do is they follow you wherever you go. The significance there being that they track back to other places, not just identify you to your device. This is where the internet got bad, is where we had banner ads and we had all this crap and it is all stuck with us. Please don't propagate it. That was my message. I'm off my soapbox. Thank you.
So I'm getting a question to basically repeat it. So if you are clicking on an address or a link and there you notice in the link that there's a bunch of stuff that's, starts with a question mark or and has like UTM campaign, UTM source, just only copy everything before the question mark. And that's the clean link that you want to share. You don't want to share everything after the question mark. Let me go back to my presentation. So I have this other, let's see, there's this other article that I will put in the chat. So this gives you a couple of, there's a lot of the same information in here that we just talked through. Examples of like what tracking parameters look like. We talked through the UTM ones. Those are not the only examples. And this article gives more information about that. So again, if there's a question mark or a pound sign and a URL, you can remove everything after that, and the link will still work. If you don't want to deal with all of that, there's a website called URL Clean, which is kind of a cute name because it sounds like you are all clean. Which I'm just now hearing. I didn't think about that before. Okay, I need a dirty link. Okay.
All right. A link with tracking information. We will have
Rebecca.
there will be no dirty links, Rebecca.
You need
I'm gonna turn off my I'm gonna turn off my screen sharing.
Apparently.
Okay. Well, I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, there's one. Okay, so now I'm frozen. I'm not even on my pathetic little sad laptop.
See what happens when you try and mess with the trackers? Ha.
Okay, so while it thinks, there's three ways that we can remove tracking from our links. Three that I know of. One is chop off everything after the question mark, the question mark included. The second thing is if you're like, man, that sounds like a pain, you can use this URL clean and just paste in, whatever the bad link is, and then clean it, and then it translate it into a different link that doesn't have that. Again, it's an extra step. A third option is there are browser extensions that you can add onto like Google Chrome, so that anytime you want to clean a link or anytime you want to copy a link, it's not going to have that tracking stuff attached to it. I can't speak for any of these. I don't have that. I just kind of manually clean them as I go.
Me too.
I guess
I I have deployed URL cleaners before. I find them to be tedious and an extra step I don't need. So I can read it. I think we can teach most people how to. The consequence of doing it wrong is fairly small if you read the URL wrong. So try it and practice with it, and I think you'll get fairly good.
Yeah. Um, okay.
So you said include the question mark to delete that too, or go after the question mark?
Delete the question mark.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Yep.
Rebecca, I have a quick question. So, when you were did an earlier session on the whole Bitly, the way to reduce the size of a link, does that solve the problem if you use Bitly? Like, does that clean up all the tracking data when you use that to shorten, or you need to shorten first and then use Bitly? I wasn't
No,
at that session, so I don't know how they relate to one another.
all Bitly does is it's like,
It's another translation tool. It takes your big ass link, whatever you put in, and turns it into a little tiny link, but it runs it through the Bitly database in order to do that.
it's
So,
like a shortcut.
yeah.
So it's instead of sending you directly to this big long link, it sends you to this little tiny short link and then to the big long link.
Okay, so it
So
doesn't clean up all the tracking data, so we shouldn't use that. We need to use what you taught us today. Thank you.
yeah, all Bitly does is make you do an extra step, which it may be easier to remember that little short link, but all it's doing is just redirecting you to that long one. Um, Robin, you got a question?
Yeah, staying on this, I'm trying to understand. I mean, it's okay. What does URL stands for? What
Ooh,
is,
Universal Resource Locator.
wow. Oh.
I didn't know that.
Want to know hypertext transfer protocol? I can give you all the acronyms, man. I'm an acronym database of
Oh
BS.
my God.
Trust me.
Did you say universal resource? What is L?
Locate. L is locator. So what you are
Locate.
saying is go find this for me on the internet.
Okay, sounds good. Number two. Okay, Rebecca, when you're
The
saying,
other word that's used is locator. So universal resource locator,
okay.
just so you make sure you hear it correct.
Alrighty. Okay, so you said that whenever like, I'm gonna read a Washington Post or something. Okay, so delete right there in the browser, starting from the question mark, and then read it, or do I need to delete a copy and paste and do it again? That's a lot of work.
If you, I'm mainly talking about when you are sharing links. Like if you are trying to take
Oh,
that article and send it to Cecilia or
Discord.
put it in Discord or a coffee and
oh,
conversations chat, that's when
oh,
I want you to take the question mark and everything after
got
and chop
it.
that off and just share that first part of the
Got it.
address.
But I don't have to worry while I'm on my own device reading it. But so they're not tracking then, right?
They track you in that case if you followed something, if you followed the link that has all of that tracking information,
Oh,
but you can save your friends. It's too
I
late
see.
for you, but you can save your friends.
You know what, Rebecca? We're not doing anything illegal here, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're not saying it's illegal. It's just the more information that's out there
Mhm.
about you, let's just, we don't really want that. Let's just
Well, we
like
kind of
be a
started
little
out
bit
that,
more chill.
yeah, we started out this year all worried about everything that Doge was gathering for us from the databases that were supposed to be private. And now the discussion about the things that we can keep private, because we couldn't prevent Doge from doing that. That happened. These are things that we can do to prevent ourselves from adding to larger databases, from contributing more information about ourselves, to identifying who we are, where we are, what our locations and movements are. It's just to slow down the collection of information about us in an age where we are all concerned that that information might at some time be used against us, no matter how innocuous it might seem today. And that was really dark, and I did not mean it that way. I apologize.
I know it makes you like start thinking maybe you should don't use and I'm
No, you should keep coming. You should keep coming to hands-on how-to. And now now you should let me show you how to delete Safari cookies.
Oh,
Okay, I
okay.
got that one. All right, are we ready? Safari
ready.
cookies. Okay, on your phone, go to settings.
Okay. I'm gonna
Oh,
do it while you're talking to me. I don't know how much. Okay, setting, I
All
got
right.
it. All right,
At the
okay.
bottom of settings, you have a search bar.
Search bar on my bottom of my,
You see the word search?
yes, I do.
Okay. Activate search. Type in the search box, the word Safari.
Safari. If I can spell it.
All you have to get to is SAF and it'll bring everything up.
SAFFAR,
Then
okay.
hit the hourglass at the very bottom left, and these are all the settings for Safari.
Hold on. Okay, Safari. Here you go. Safari app comes up. Okay, then it comes Siri, search,
Okay,
default.
hang on. You got ahead of me. It's okay. Go back.
Go back. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to Safari because I need to see exactly what you're seeing. On your screen, if you hit the hang on.
So I'm gonna hit the Safari.
No, you're
okay.
not. Please
No.
don't hit Safari. Just don't. In the search bar, type Safari.
Right, I did.
And then hit the magnifying glass in the bottom right.
Magnified glass. You know what, Stephanie?
I'm gonna show you my screen.
Oh yeah. Show me. It's very blurry. Blurry. It's really cloudy. Okay. Okay, still can't read it, but anyway, Stephanie, when I typed Safari, then I see clear history, closed tab, download export, extension here.
Excellent. Clear history is, I think, probably where you want to be, but I'm a little iffy at the moment. Don't
Okay.
hit yes on anything because it will
Okay.
log you out of everything on your phone unless
Oh,
you do it correctly. This is where you make the changes.
okay.
I am
Got it.
not prepared to walk you through what changes to make because I may hurt your phone.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
That's
All
where
right.
we stop
Okay, thank you.
for my comfort. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Did I lose you, Rebecca?
I was just trying to follow along on my phone too, because I don't know how to
Did
to
it
do
work
it.
for anybody else? I mean, I'm sitting here doing it. Maybe I'm just doing something stupid.
No, you're not.
Anybody who's got better suggestions, please. Cecilia's eating popcorn. It must be a good show.
I think maybe we wanted to search for clear history and website data. No, that got me to the right place. Yeah. Okay. So that was all of the material that we had prepared today. I do recall that Constance had a question at the beginning about Mobilize and Zoom and all of that, but I want to open it up for questions about anything that we didn't have a chance to answer about our security related topics today. Or any thoughts or alibis or
I got one question.
yes, Miss Patty.
Are these taped? I mean, can I go watch this because I didn't get here at the beginning?
Yes, they are. They are on the NWSOFA.org website, and they're also streamed to the NWSOFA YouTube account. So
Okay.
you can find them on YouTube. If you just go to youtube.com and search NWSOFA.
I've done that.
and then you go to that section that says live.
Oh, live. Okay.
Yeah, that'll have all of the recordings that we've streamed live, and this is one of those.
All right.
Oh,
That's one other question. Y'all keep talking about these when we're on Zoom and y'all are transcribing it all. Where is it that I'm supposed to get that? You know, it's the summary, after hour summary or something.
The recaps?
Yeah,
Yeah, we send those out to people who have been registered through Mobilize. You should get them in your emails.
I get so many emails. Okay, that's what it is.
It should say recap in big
Recap.
letters.
I don't think I'm getting any.
NWSOA.
But Patty, the other thing is if you're not getting them that way, you can get them through Substack. They're always posted on Substack as well.
The NWSOFA Substack. Oh,
Correct.
I'm getting 2 of them, and I emailed them. Should I tell them again that I'm getting 2?
No,
It,
he can
I
turn
see,
that
Bill.
off.
I'm sorry, Bill.
that's okay. No, it's
Subscribe to
tracking. It's actually a tracking cookie component between Constant Contact and Mobilize, but it's not. Nothing you do is going to make it different.
Oh,
That's the
Okay.
net. Nothing you do is going to make it different.
and nothing Bill does either.
Well, that's between Bill and
Yeah,
God.
just delete just delete one of them.
Okay.
contact. I thought that was a Democratic thing.
What? Leaving everything between Bill and God?
I got a question about security, but it's not what we talked about today.
We're taking all comers at the moment. Go ahead. You got 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. I recently got hacked twice within 2 months, and they were asking me about, like, does anyone have your computer, or which I live alone, so they don't. So I was wondering, when I heard you say about the one to remember login, like if I don't shut my computer down all the way at night, I have a secure network, so I don't know how they're doing it, but they got my bank account twice.
Whoa, whoa,
Ooh.
whoa,
Within
whoa.
within October and then again in December. So
That's not good.
they're starting to think it's not really, I mean, it's 2 different banks, thank God, or they would think
Yeah.
I had a thing going on, but
What have they recommended that you do in order to safeguard yourself, Carolyn?
one of the banks gave me a new account and everything. I had to just start over and change my password. The other bank left my account the way it was, but they gave me back the money.
And they haven't done anything in terms of suggesting to you how to protect yourself going forward or figure out what might have happened?
No, like they were asking me questions like I said, can anyone get in your computer? Did you leave
Sure.
your card laying somewhere? And none of the answer to all those was no. So
They took it.
Carolyn, the reason why they asked you those questions was to make sure that it was fraudulent activity and not your fault.
not my
If it
husband.
was your fault, they wouldn't give you your money back.
Right.
But if your information is out on the dark web for some reason, and you will find it surprising to find out what information about you is out on the dark web, including your social security number, your bank account numbers, etc. They can fake being you, go into your account, take your money, move it to another bank.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
So
And
my recommendation, Joe, you know about this. They make services called LifeLock, LIFELOCK.
Yeah.
If you are under that kind of a siege, we are not prepared to handle that here, but LifeLock will
Okay.
get you out of it. I would recommend consulting a professional in order to safeguard you and your personal details.
And I don't care what the bank tells you, Carolyn, if money was taken from your account you need to close that account and open a new one with a new number.
Okay,
Doesn't matter what the bank says.
okay,
Do not take the chance that somebody has that information. Close the
right,
account, and if the bank refuses to do it, go to another bank.
okay. Because, yeah, there's a lot at stake in that
Yeah.
particular bank because it has
Sure,
my inheritance and everything. So,
sure.
LifeLock, no
yeah,
Zoom. Yeah.
I can get LifeLock free from my AAA. So,
There you go. Get it now.
okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Rebecca, what else we have left?
That's it.
I see Robin.
Yeah, I
And then
got two questions, staying on the security topic. Um, I got an email. I mean, these scammers. Today, I got a email from like they're pretending it's a Microsoft, and they say Microsoft account is suspended. Please click here. But I knew it's not. It is some kind of scam, so I didn't do
Yeah.
it. So
Sorry.
I become a little smarter in that aspect now. Okay, number two. When we're doing this, okay, question, we're recording everything, right? We're recording our faces and everything. So like when we have the video on, it depends where we are sitting. Normally I'm sitting where all my pictures are, my kids, my grandkids and all that. Is that also being recorded in the video? I just thought about it, okay? So
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's why we say at the beginning of the show, if you prefer not to have your image out there, turn off your video.
okay.
That said, I can tell you the resolution on your phone is not good enough for me to get any of your personal information.
No,
I
no,
mean, we
no.
would have to like employ the FBI or something to like, look at your
No, I'm not worried about that part. I'm just worried about like they will look at my picture, if they hack into the video and they will say, okay, Robin has this and this family or how, whatever. I'm just
But Robin,
just
you
throwing
talk
that.
about your family all the time. Like you're putting enough information about them out there that whoever this theoretical person is, they don't have to look at the photos or whatever that's
Oh,
behind
okay.
you.
Alrighty, all right. So I just because I know you said I can turn off the video, but then we are required to have our video on. This morning, Debbie put it in the link that turn your video on. Some of the guidelines and rules that was. Look at the Debbie's chat today in there. Okay.
Then
Bill, is that
so
a rule?
she posted the norms, and so that might be something that needs to be adjusted. What Bill always says is that he loves seeing people's faces, but he also says that you can turn your video off, so it's
Okay.
your choice in terms of your
I
own
mean, I love
privacy.
to see people's face and show my face too. I don't want to hide it or anything. I'm just asking these hypothetical questions.
they're good questions. And
Since
they're practical questions. We're all into our computers, but what are we doing in our surroundings? All security starts with physical proximity. Everything around you is your security, and it goes from there. I mean, we
Mhm.
are in like the fourth ring of security in terms of what we're protecting against, because the first thing you protect against is your physical surrounding, then everything else. So your question was very appropriate in thinking about your physical surroundings.
Okay, thank you so much explaining
Absolutely.
it to me. I would just got a little kind of start thinking that these videos are being posted on the YouTube and then,
Maybe what we'll do is we'll hit virtual backgrounds again so that your face can be there, but not your family's.
that
And we
would
can,
be nice.
yeah, we can come back around to that and that'll solve your bigger question, I think.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think we should carry how to read a Zoom link over to next week too. And we can talk in general about when you see a Zoom link, but you don't know what to do, what do you do with it? And
Okay,
other stuff that we want to do, Rebecca.
appreciate. Thank you.
Okie doke. So we have Laverne, and then I want to address a topic about scheduling. So Laverne,
Okay,
go ahead.
yeah, okay, it's Laverne. Mine comes up as just an L. I use a smartphone. I don't know how to change that. But the reason I'm usually not on camera, you wouldn't want to see me at 9 in the morning, I'm telling you. And the way my house looks now, gosh, I was really sick over the holidays and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I really was. Um, I'm a late bloomer to technology, just starting like in about 2017 and learned a lot from a couple friends. But still, I think my email address and phone number are are all over the place. But the Verizon store told me that smartphones can't get a virus. Well, I don't even know if that's true or not. So then I decided to put antivirus guard back on my phone, and I think that helps clear out junk and everything. But do you recommend that NordVP, the virtual privacy network? Do you think that's one of the best ones?
So couple things in there.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
question about the virus. I think that generally speaking, if you're using like an iPhone, it's hard
My,
to get a virus on your iPhone.
I've got a Samsung Android.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm less familiar with Android,
Hmm.
just in general. So,
Android generally is a more open architecture. Open means that things can get in differently than into the Apple or iPhone architecture. So is it a general sense that Androids are more prone to some sort of malicious interference, virus, malware? I think it's a general sense. I think there's also more tools to work against it. But I think that's a much longer conversation in terms of how to address Android security for phones and viruses, because it's a very personal choice. I mean, we have folks on here who are much more knowledgeable, who I would love to have do some sort of an Android specific moment for the folks who are still using Android, or not still using, for the folks who prefer that style of phone. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
So,
you. And
yeah, I don't,
I will go back and look at the recap too. So
Sounds
thank
good.
you. Thank you, ladies.
yep.
I have an
Okay.
Android, and my virus protection for my computer allows me to put the Android on also.
That's a good,
If that's any help, I don't know, but
Yeah, Carolyn, if you can maybe put in the chat for Laverne what the name of that software is that the NordVPN you were talking about, or is it something
it's
else?
WebRoot.
WebRoot?
Yeah, WebRoot.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll put it in there.
the
Okay, great.
Rootkit Defender.
Thank you.
All right, great. I appreciate everybody's interaction today. So many good questions. I'm glad we had time today to discuss. I'm sorry, Constance, we didn't have a chance to cover your issue, but I will make a point of next week talking about kind of the intricacies of Mobilize versus Zoom, because those are different links. So
Rebecca, I put in the chat that I knew we were running long, so I actually made an appointment with the Geek Squad on Saturday because I wanted to bring in both my laptops, maybe, and see if I needed a new download of some sort, that sort of thing. So I thought it might take more time than we would have today. So I just simply went and did that. So unless I have another problem with it in the next week, which I hope not after having the appointment. I'll bring that up, but hopefully I can get it taken care of on Saturday.
Okay, great. One last note about scheduling. So I know that the time has kind of been bouncing around because of we have this Ezra and Leah call that's specifically for Indivisible group leaders, and they moved it last week, so that's why we had to move it both last week and this week. Stephanie and I and other folks are trying to figure out what is the best time to have this going forward. I think for next week, plan on going back to the normal 2 Central, and then we'll figure out if there's going to be a departure from that, we'll announce it. But for now, let's plan on meeting here at 2 o'clock Central next Wednesday.
Be there or be square.
All right.